In the last few weeks, I've been making quite a few changes in some different equipment use, some different lighting techniques, that sort of thing. So I'm trying different things out. And I was talking to a fellow that got to a certain point with me, and he just said, with the show on the tools and everything, that's great, but he says, what are you trying to do, make it like Hollywood or something? So I thought I would give him my answer today for that. Coffee and Tools, episode 25, take one. Hi and welcome back. This episode is specifically the Ryobi planer here I've got. This is a bench model, sometimes referred to as the lunchbox planer. The JP 155, that's this model here specifically, I'm seeing them all over the internet and stuff, and they're really inexpensive to buy. But the reason is there's a catch. I grabbed this one because it was so cheap I couldn't say no. But once I got it to the house and checked it over, and I says, okay, the only problem I could find with it was the blades were like really tore up really badly. And at that point, it was like, okay, we'll just go online and what, $20, we'll buy some blades. Ha! Yeah. Okay, that didn't work because you can't get blades for these. And so somebody said, well, Sears, has a crossover or something. Well, they don't have the blades anymore either. And there was even some third-party companies mentioned, and I checked into them, same thing, no blades, no blades. Apparently, there's just no blades. And the blades are 6 1/8 inch size blades for this specific model. So they're a good size blade. My blades couldn't just be polished up or something like that. They were nicked up so bad they had to be run through a grinder. So today I'm going to say, okay, this is how an idiot would do this. I'm a professional, don't try this at home yourself, haha, but I'll show you what I did. I made a really quick, really dirty little jig to get these blades back in order so I can use this machine. Everything else about the machine is fine, and it's working great. In fact, it's working great right now. I can play with it. But let's take a look at what I did. And this is a bad jury rig, but it is what it is. I'm going to turn the table. And I went to a yard sale a while back and found this grinder for $20. So I took the guarding and everything off of it, clamped it to this table the other day, and checked this to 90 degrees to the table, made sure the table's nice, dead flat to the wheel. That's, pretty key operation there. Not too hard. Then I took a piece of 2x4, and I've got this checked out and cut through my saw, and ran this through the table saw to get it like really nice and straight, and then checked this, and then with the table saw made a 45-degree cut, and it's just a slight cut into the wood, nice and straight, cleaned it out, made sure it's dead clean, and then put my blade in, and I locked the blade in using just a couple of wood screws. So once you've got that made up and you've got this going, your blade is a 45-degree angle on this particular model. So what it is now you want a surface, but you're going to grind dead straight. That's all you have to do, and you're going to have your blade. So the next thing I did on the table here, I can't show it because I don't have it here now, but there was a block of wood with these clamps, and that sets this 2x4 here, and then you just run past the grinding wheel. Now what I did first was dead rest without running it, put the blade into the wheel like this, and then set everything up. And that way all I've got to do is a couple of passes like this, and I can grind those blades down a little bit just to get the edge back on those blades. To test the blade, once I was finished, I would take them from my jig, I put them on the table. This is a really nice, super fabulous little surface right here. And so I put the blade on the table and checked to make sure it's straight across this way. The blade and everything, when I set it back up, it's still a 90-degree angle to the table, so the blade is good, so we're going to get a good cut. So it was really it's the cheapest jig I've ever seen. Now, I've looked all over the internet at different ideas for jigs, for planers, and that's probably the most raw, almost embarrassing setup to do, but that was to get this little monkey back up and working where I can use the darn thing, you know. So this week I wanted to share that with you all and just explain that. It's the JP 155 Ryobi. You probably can't miss them. They all look just like this. And if you are even looking at buying one, your only problem is the blades. You can't buy them, or they're almost impossible to find. Sharpening normally, when you don't tear them up like what happened with this one, normally you can just build something like a 2x4 and cut 245s in it that are shallow. Put both your blades in so you have 45 degrees and 45 degree blades. So you'd actually have your blades sitting like that in the 2x4, and on the top that would be dead surface, so nice and flat. So all you got to do is then put some like emery cloth down, put on the emery cloth, you know, polish the blades out kind of thing, make them nice and clean, sharpen them up a little bit, and then put them, or even on a stone if you have a nice big sharpening stone, maybe throw a little oil in there and go to town. But the problem with planers of this type, or any planer really, the blades will dull. It's the nature of the beast. So you're going to have to be prepared to do something or deal with it. And I think at some point you're probably better to make some sort of a jig if you're going to have a machine like this around the shop and you're going to use it. I don't know if there's any difference between softwood and hardwood. I would assume the hardwood is probably going to be the one that's going to put the blades to the test. This one here, the previous owner, I think he must have had a board with nails in it, because the blades there was over a 1/16 of an inch of chunk missing out of some of the teeth on the two blades that, you know, run in this machine. So that's pretty bad. But anyways, from Coffee and Tools this week, hey, thanks for looking in, and this is a Ryobi planer, and hopefully down the road we'll do some projects with it and we'll be able to plane some really nice wood. See you next week.